it all got gathered up into the 5 pillars, which again really happened. It was not planned. It just sort of, all of that sort of prior stuff sort of formulated itself, solidified into sort of 5 major features of what we need to put together in order to understand the human condition. It's one thing just to launch yourself into some wonderful meditation stuff, but we need to understand ourselves. We need to know what makes us tick, how we're constructed. It's no good trying to leap beyond that into something that's very alluring, this enlightenment stuff that people take on board, thinking that it's like the fast track. That's all you need to mature, and then you break through into your enlightened nature. There is that which is in the way of that. That's already there, waiting. There is that which is in the way, which is me and who I am, who I think I am, and the world that I construct, create and maintain and get completely enslaved to. And to me that's always been the priority. And the 5 pillars really do focus on that part of, we need to get to know ourselves. And before we can step beyond, as I was saying, before we can step beyond into who we really are, we have to know, if you like, paradoxically, who we're not, or rather who we think we are. And for many it would seem as though that's always a bit, and that's what can make it quite mundane, because it means to look at ourselves and see how we're constructed. It means then to reflect upon on the mundane aspects of ourselves that we sort of know about, but we don't realise are the very impediments that we've got to open and get to know these bits of it, like restlessness, which is very mundane. It's one of the most mundane concepts. It's not dharmic at all. It's just something that everyone experiences. Everyone can define the word. There's nothing deep about restlessness, and so. But actually, it's a major impediment for us. As an example, it's a major impediment for us. And it's something that we have to acknowledge within ourselves, see it, know it, see what it's about, get to know it, unpick it, look into it, get to know it. Not try and sort of push it to one side because it's not interesting, because that's who you are. That's the bit that's in the way, that's stopping you from seeing and realising who you really are, your true nature, your the unconditioned, the liberated part of who you are. You know, whether you like it or not, that's it. It's, you know, you have to put your boots on and wade into it, as it were. Because until you know it, it's always gonna get in the way. And you take on more interesting types of meditation and more concepts and reaching into the unknown, thinking and wondering why you don't pull it off, because not many do actually. People play with these things for years before they move on to something else. Those that pull it off and naturally move on to the next stage are actually, I would suggest, far fewer than it could be. And the reason is because we're not prepared to get to know ourselves. We're not prepared to look at the dirty bits and get to the bottom of this stuff, the boring stuff that you're familiar with in one way. Only in a you think you're familiar with, but you're only familiar with the surface. You don't really know what it's all about deep down. But anyway, you know, who wants? I haven't come to Buddhism to look at my restlessness. I come here because I want enlightenment. I want shunyata and Indriya's net. I don't want to look at me and my everyday, boring, restless existence. Sit there and look at that. Why would I want to? It's not a very good selling point. If you're a teacher and you're looking for disciples and you want to drum up a bit of business, you don't go around selling things like that, putting that on your poster. Come and sit with me and have a look at your restlessness. £500, please. You're not going to do that. No, you promise them. You promise them you promise them enlightenment, or you promise them things that you don't experience, that are just what you would really love to experience, but you don't. So this is what you run after. This is what I want. Of course I want that. Who doesn't want it? And so that's your focus, and you look into that, and you take the things on, and it doesn't work. So far, little tasty bits here and there. It doesn't really work. The reason why it doesn't really work is that you've not done your homework. You've not done the basics. You've not settled the ground, created the correct environment. You want to leap over, which is so typical of us people. You want it quickly. You want it my way. We don't want to do the dirty stuff, and consequently, it's superficial. We never really quite pull it off. We can spend decades. Not talking about weeks and months. I'm talking about years of this. That somehow you keep back. It's like banging your head against the wall all the time. It's because, well, there could be all sorts of reasons, but fundamentally, it's because you've not worked through the basic impediment, which is that basic nature that we've got, that we need to understand, that the conditioned nature that we need to understand, which means that we have to really be with ourselves and look at all of that stuff and stay with that stuff and get to know that stuff, and not try and leap over it and go into the blue sky.